Daf Yomi Bechorot. Right? So we tried pairing yesterday the two machlokes in Tanaim, one by whether you let him make a mum in an animal in order to draw blood, with the same machlokes of what you do with a barrel of Safek Tuma, that truma, that Safek Tuma, whether you have to watch it, what do you do with it? Do you do something? You leave it? You protect it?
To become tamei, or just leave it?
Right. So the Gemara says really there's no parallel. Each one of the Tanaim could switch their opinion when it gets to the other sugya. And also, Stam, there's by mum, by Bukhar, it's really a machlokes how to understand the psukim. And so too is true by truma. It's machlokes how to understand the psukim by truma. Right, it's different psukim. So and the psukim, they're psukim by mum, psukim by truma, and each one is a question of how to interpret the psukim. Morning. So not necessarily. It really has nothing to do with each other. Right? So. Hacha b'kroi pligi, the Gemara says on the fourth line. Hacha b'kroi pligi. Also over here by truma, by the case of Safek Tuma, that was by truma. We're not sure if truma became tamei. Also b'kroi pligi. We just started in the fourth line. So also by truma, machlok is about how to understand the psukim. The Amar B'Yehudam or Shmuel Chenor Shlakish Chenor B'Nachman Rabbi Raful Va'ani Hine Nasati L'Chas Mishmeres Teru Moisoi. Right, Teru Moisoi meaning you have to watch two types of trumas. You have to watch. Rabbi Eliyahu Sovar V'Shtei Trumas Hakazav Medaber. Achas Truma Tahira, Achas Truma Tluya. The Torah is talking about two types of trumas. There's Teru Moisoi, which is lashon rabbin, lashon plural, right? So
not just regular truma you have to watch, even something else. So he says, or Lazar holds achas truma tluya, and therefore he holds that you have to watch the suffix, the truma that's suffix tamei. To make sure what?
To make sure it doesn't become tamei.
It doesn't become real tamei, even though you have to be choshesh that it's tamei.
Even though it might be tamei. Right, it might be already tamei, but now that it's already tamei, Rabbi Yeshua says, oh, okay, so just leave it outside, let it for sure become tamei, right? Rabbi Eliyahu learns from this pasuk, no, you have to watch not only real truma, not only 100%, even truma that you're really not sure if it's tahor or not, you still have to watch. So he learns it from a pasuk. So that won't necessarily apply to Bechar. Again, it's something that's isolated because of the pasuk by truma. The Amar Rachmana Avid L'Shimur, right? Mishmeres U'Musai, it's talking about Truma Tahara, and it's talking about Truma Tluya. Amar Rachmana Avid L'Shimur. And Tluya means it's hanging, meaning suffix. Amar Rachmana Avid L'Shimur. That's what Elazar's pasuk. Yeshua, Truma Siksiv. Yeshua says, if you would read it without the Nekudas, it says Truma Si, right?
Yesh Em LaMikra.
So says the Gemara, remember the Elazar Savar Yesh Em LaMikra. Meaning Rabbi Elazar is the one who's reading it with the Nekudas, which is the way you read it. So he holds it's all about, there's machlokes Tanoim as to whether Yesh Em LaMikra or Yesh Em LaMasaros, which means that in terms of darshaning the psukim, do we go with how the pasuk is read with the Nekudos, or just the Masar of how it's brought down without, right? Kriyuksiv. Kri means you darshan the way you read it in the Torah with the Nekudos. That's Yesh Em LaMikra. And that would be Teru Moisoi, which is plural. That's what Rabbi Elazar would be holding. Rabbi Yeshua is saying, no, if you read it without any nekudas, if you look at the Sefer Torah without anything, it says Truma Si. Right? That's the more simple way to read it. Without the nekudas, which would mean one. Right? So according to Rabbi Yeshua, he says, no, it's only one. You only have to watch one Truma, real Truma, not suffix, not Truma that's suffix Tmeya. Now the Gemara says it's inconsistent because we know that Rabbi Eliyahu doesn't hold Yesh Em LaMikra. It says the Gemara, remember the Elazar Savar Yesh Em LaMikra. Is it true that he holds Yesh Em LaMikra? Or meaning, I'll ask you a contradiction. B'vigdoiva. The pasuk says by an Amma Ivriya lo yimshol lemochra b'vigdoiva. You can't la'am nochri lo yimshol. If the master doesn't do yi'ud, le'am nochri lo yimshol lemochra b'vigdoiva. So we learn how le'am nochri means another master. Lo yimshol lemochra, he won't have the power to sell her b'vigdoiva. So the question, meaning basically, he's not allowed to sell the Amma Ivriya. The question is when? When are you not allowed to sell an Amma Ivriya? Right? A kid, the father, the Torah says the father has the koyach to sell his daughter as an Amma Ivriya. Right? But then it says at a certain point, b'vigdoiva you can't sell her. What does b'vigdoiva mean? So Kevan Shapirish Talisai Aleo Shuben Rashad Machro. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. Akiva learns the words bevigdai ba to be like beged, like miloshin beged, bevigdai va. Right. So that's saying that as soon as he marries her, meaning he throws clothing on her, right? Meaning he supports her and he marries her. As soon as the master marries her, she cannot be sold again as an Amid Ivriya. So even though the father could sell his daughter into slavery, but not once she got married. Once she got married, that's it. She becomes her own person. Even if she gets divorced after that. Let's say she gets married, the father marries her off, then she gets divorced. Right? Now, even if she's still a ketana, the father has no koyach to sell her anymore. And that's what he learns from bevigdai va, because bevigdai va is miloshin clothing, and once she got married, once he spread his talis over her, i.e. she got married, ein rashal mochro, she can't be sold again. Divrei Rabbi Akiva. No, kevan shebagad b'shov ein rashal mochro. He holds not once she gets married. It means once she gets sold. Once she gets sold the first time, he can't sell her again.
Whether or not they're married.
Right. It's nothing to do with marriage. It has to do with if the father sold her to one master. Let's say that master now frees her, right? Could the father now sell her again? No, he cannot sell her again. And that's the big deal, because once he rebelled against her, once he right, he learns it in Lashon Bagad.
He betrayed her.
Right. Once he betrayed her, so he can't resell her.
So she gets divorced and that she can sell her again.
Yeah. According to this shita, it's all about shiflos. If she just gets divorced, then he's allowed to sell her again.
Rabbi Eliezer follows.
So over here you see Rabbi Eliezer follows yesh em l'masayros, because really it sounds like the vigdai va does seem to. If you learn yesh em l'mikra, right? If Rabbi Eliezer holds yesh em l'mikra, so it should be bevigdai va is with clothing. That's what it seems. Because what he's looking at the pasuk and he's saying bevagad, right? Bogad. He's looking at bogad. He doesn't say bevigdai would mean with his clothing, right? So that would sound like more. If you hold l'shem l'mikra, which means you would read it with the nikudais, you'd go. It would say bevigdai, which would be more like Rabbi Akiva's shita, that it has to do with ishus, right? With clothing, with her getting married, with her getting clothing from the husband, right? But Rabbi Eliezer, who says it's Miloshin Bogad, it sounds like he's just doing a yesh em l'masayros. He's just looking at the words without the nikudais, right? So it's a stiro. Right? It sounds like Rabbi Eliezer really holds yesh em l'masayros, not yesh em l'mikra. Ela says the Gemara, really, you're right. That's not the machlekes. This is the machlekes. When the pasuk says, the Torah is talking about something that's right to you. It means specifically something that you can actually eat. But if it's a suffik tumah, if it's suffik tameh, if it's tameh misafik, then Rabbi Yeshua holds it's not roy lecha. Lo tishmar. Rabbi Eliezer hanami reuyahi. Rabbi Eliezer says no, it is roy. Shema yov Eliyahu yitarenu. Maybe Eliyahu would come and be minvayir to you, that tell you that it's tahar. Therefore, you still have to watch it.
As opposed to vadai tameh,
which is not roy for you. So you don't have to watch it, right? Okay, so again that's the psukim. That's the psukim by Truma. Sounds like even according to this last version, it's still machlekes in the psukim, right? Is the Torah talking about something that's roy to you, or even something that's not necessarily roy to you right now? Okay, fine. Weiter. Amar Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Halacha Reb Shimon. The halacha is like Reb Shimon. In our Mishnah, Reb Shimon said that Yaki's Afa Pishu Oisim, even though he's doing a moment, it's mutter. It's over Shenim Miskav. Right. So Maskef Reb Nachman Bar Yitzchak. Hi Reb Shimon Ilema. Hi Reb Shimon. Hey Reb Shimon. Which Reb Shimon? Which Reb Shimon do we mean that the halacha is like him? Ilema Reb Shimon the Maslisin. Meaning there's really Reb Shimon of the Mishnah, which says that Yaki's Afa Pishu Oisim Baimon. Right? You make a even though you're making a mum, it's fine. It's Tavashin is Kalvin, like we're going to see. But then Rabbi Shimon in the Brisa, the Gemara quotes a Brisa. The Gemara says that Rabbi Shimon holds not only are you allowed to do it, once there's a mum, you're allowed to, now it's a bal mum, you're allowed to shecht and eat it, right? The kohen's allowed to shecht and eat it, even though you're the one who made the mum, right? So it's, Shimon in the Brisa goes even further and says not only are you allowed to make a mum, you're allowed to count that mum as if the mum happened on its own, and now you're allowed to shecht it, it's a bal mum, right? So Amar Rabbi Yehuda Mishmul, Halacha Rabbi Shimon, right? So Maskef Rabbi Nachman, hey Rabbi Shimon, which Rabbi Shimon are you talking about? Rabbi Shimon the Matznitzin, Ad Hashtalash Min Shmuel Davar Shenim Miskaven Mutter. Well, until now, Shmuel never told us that he holds la halacha like Rabbi Shimon the Davar Shenim Miskaven is Mutter. It's in a sense, if he's saying halacha like Rabbi Shimon in the Mishnah, he's saying Davar Shenim Miskaven is Mutter. You're allowed to do it. Right? We know that already. He says V'harav Chia Barashi Amarav Halacha Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Chanin Barashi Amar Shmuel Halacha Rabbi Shimon. Shmuel holds halacha like Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Chia Rabbi Yehuda holds Rabbi Yehuda holds Davar Shenim Miskaven Chayav. Right, so Rav holds like Rabbi Yehuda, but Shmuel says halacha like Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Chia Bar Avin Masni B'lei Gavri. Rabbi Chia Bar Avin says it without even the first names. He says Rav Amar halacha Rabbi Yehuda, Shmuel halacha Rabbi Shimon. Right, so we know this already. Why would Shmuel need to be teaching me the halachas like Rabbi Shimon? Rabbi Shimon the Brisa means halachas like Rabbi Shimon of the Brisa that you're allowed to eat it, you're allowed to shecht it. Rabbi Shisha Bar David Masni Lebehedi Amar Yehuda Amar Shmuel halacha Rabbi Shimon Brisa. Shisha Bar Idi, he says it the fairish that way. Without we don't have to deduce it. We just say Amar Yehuda Shmuel halacha like Rabbi Shimon of the Brisa and not of the Mishnah, because if the Mishnah is understood, we know already that we hold like Rabbi Shimon Davar Shenim Miskaven Mutter. Okay. If someone tzara makes a hole, I'm not sure exactly what tzara means. But either way, he makes a mum, right? He makes a he slits. Rashi says paigim. Yeah, paigim means
That's what he says, Rashi. Rambam says puncture. Slits and punctures of the cartilage constant to the blemishes that permit consumption.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you made a mum, right? You actively made a mum in the oizen of a bechor. Now, because you did that, so now you're not allowed to shecht it forever. Divrei Rabbi Eliezer. The Chachamim say no. Because you did this avera, right? You did it on purpose. You gave it a mum even though you're not supposed to. So we're going to knas you. We're going to say you can't gain from that action. But if another mum happens, right? So anyway, you would have been mutter, right? So what's the point of knasing you? So they no mum acher yishchet. Then you're allowed to be shaychet for that second mum. Says the Gemara, mi kanet shal dezer loyno. Does Rabbi Eliezer hold that we knas forever? Right over here he says you knas forever. Meaning we have a contradiction. Mi shaisel beheres v'niktitza tar. If someone has beheres is the white saras. Right, so then so somehow it gets cut off without his intention, so he becomes tar. Why? Because now he doesn't have a tzaras anymore. However, cuts it sabiskaven if he cuts it off b'miskaven, which is also tar says yishamer v'negat tzaras the shmor v'oid. You have to leave it there. You have to let the kohen deal with it with the regular hilchos negoim, and you can't just cut it off. So Rabbi Eliezer, let's say a guy does cut it off. Amen. Rabbi Eliezer holds that you are tamei, you stay at mitzvah until another nega grows on you. If another nega grows on you, and then the nega then the nega is healed. The tara for the second one sort of tells us that even if the first one was still here, it would have been tar. Right? Because look, he has the second one, and the second one became tar already, right? So for sure he would have been healed from the first one also, right? So therefore, but you need to get that second taras in order to be healed. Right? So when he gets a new nega, then he tar him, then he gets tar from the original one. Until no, it's not enough to have another nega. The other nega has to be perech bekulay. He has to go. He needs tzaras in his whole body. The Torah says once his tzaras in his whole body becomes tar. Kulay ofach lavon taru. The whole thing is. I think that's the pasuk. No, v'chisat tzaras eskol era nega lechol mar'ei anei kohen. Either way, the Torah says that if tifrach if the tzaras blossoms in his whole body, so then it becomes tar, right? So that's the only way it can become tar if it actually blossoms in the whole body, and it basically right, the original taras is able to go away because the halacha is once you get taras in your whole body, everything's mutter. Or if when he cut it off, it was less than a gris. Gris is the amount of shear that taras is metameh.
You cut it off entirely.
Right, no, Rashi explains it means that before he cut it off, it was less than the gris.
Oh.
If before he cut it off, it was less than the gris, we're not machmir.
Because it wasn't anything to begin with.
Right. Yeah, that's what it means. Yeah. Okay, so either way, so according to Chachamim, there are two possibilities of this guy becoming tar. Because he cut it off, the only way it's possible is either if he gets taras in his whole body, which means that even if the original taras was there, right, even if the original taras was there, now it would be tahar because once you have taras in your whole body, everything becomes tahar. Or the Chachamim are makel also in a case where there wasn't really a shear taras, it was too small, it was less than a gris. A gris is what? A nickel? Not a nickel, a dime. If it's less than the size of a dime, so then samazli it's not taras. So if you cut it off, then it's pater. He's tahar. Rav Yosef. Oh, so now we have a stira, right? Because our Mishnah said that Rabbi Eliezer is kindness elamis. He doesn't. If the second mum comes around, it doesn't make a difference. Because you cut it off, we knas the whole thing forever. So why by taras does he not knas forever and say, oh, you had taras, you cut it off? What do I care if another one came? So what? Even if we know that it wouldn't be, even if we got rid of the issue, meaning even if we got past our issue, just like over here, we got past our issue because you got another mum, right? So we got past the original issue. The second mum should be mater. No, he says no. So too over here, we got the second taras, right? He says because we have the second taras and the second taras is healed, so we got past our original issue. Why? I thought you knasei lamis. Says the Gemara, kikanas Rabbi Eliezer b'mamayna. Rabbi Eliezer knasses b'mamayna, meaning in his moment, the bechor is his moment. The gufay leikanis, in his own body leikanis. Mamayna, now why? The Gemara explains. Mamayna ikal neighbor dasi lemeavad. The guy might do it by bechor, by his moment. A guy might do it on purpose. Gufay mi ikal neighbor dasi lemeavad. Could it be? Is it true that he's going to do it? So basically, the way Rashi says, it's not just that. Right? The Gemara says it sounds like the mamayna. He doesn't mind making a mum in his moment, and not in his goof. Rashi says it sounds like this because by moment he'll say like this: what do I have to lose? This is bechor tam. I have nothing to do with it. I can't do anything with it. I'm not going to gain. I have to bring it as a korban, or if there's nobody samigdash, right? I'm not interested in that. I'm not going to get anything from that. What could I do? I can make a mum. Maybe someone will catch me. Maybe they won't catch me. Right? Maybe they'll be mater to me. Maybe they won't be mater. If they're mater to me, great. I got away with it. If they're not mater to me, so what do I lose? I don't lose anything. I'll have to wait for the next mum. Okay, I'll wait for the next mum. Right? Anyway, I have to wait for a mum. Right? Okay, so therefore he has nothing to lose. He might do it. Therefore, by bechor will knas. But by gufay, he's not going to say that because he's going to say, listen, maybe I'll cut off my taras. Maybe I won't be caught. Maybe they'll let me get away with it. Right? But if they won't let me get away with it, right? So then, how am I going to get out of this? Only if another taras comes. I have no power, right? I have no idea if taras is going to come or not, right? Exactly. So I might as well wait for this one to leave on its own right? If I cut this off, I'm going to wait for another taras to come. Who says it's going to happen, right? So it'll be stuck. Who wants it anyway? Yeah. Okay. So therefore, by moment, he might. Right? By moment, he only stands to gain. He doesn't stand to lose. But over here, he stands to lose if he has no control for a new taras to come, and therefore he might as well wait for this one to leave on its own. Right? Okay. So Omer Rava says Rava. We asked the Hastir between Rabbi Eliezer and Rabbi Eliezer. The Rabbanan like Kasha. There should be also a contradiction in the Chachamim. Why? Because the Chachamim by us said you're not goyzer lamis, right? We're mater, but by taras they said you are goyzer lamis. The Chachamim said that even if another taras comes, still you're tamei. So it says the Gemara. Elo Rabbi Eliezer like kasha. That's not a kasha kedishaninu, like we just answered. Rabbanan not like kasha. Hacha b'may de'ovad kansuha. Hacha b'may de'ovad kansuha. There's no real stira because the Chachamim hold that with what he did, we're going to knas him for what he did exactly. What did this guy? What was he mechaven to be matter the bechor? B'hai muma with this mum. So b'hai muma kansor rabbanon. The b'hai muma lo lishturi. With this mum, I mean basically Chacham said we're gonna be geyser on the action that you did. What did you do wrong? You did wrong because you made a mum. So this mum is going to be irrelevant, forever. Also by Taras, it's the same thing. With what he did, they're going to knas him. He was mechamed to make himself tar with this cutting off of the Taras. And for that cutting off, they knast him and said that we're going to look at it as if it was never cut off, right? And therefore you're always going to be tamid. And basically Rashi explains they just don't hold that if another taras comes and then it gets healed, that sheds light onto the other taras. Maybe the other taras would have stayed, right? The guy had taras, he cuts it off. Now you're telling me that if you got another taras and the other taras becomes healed, so for sure the first one's be healed. Who said? We're going to still be geyser on the original taras, right? So by mum, we're geyser on the original mum. That mum, we knas you that it doesn't work because you did a bit isser, right? This taras also we knas you that it doesn't work. The fact that you cut it off, it doesn't work. It's really still there. Okay. BeiRav Papa, Yitar Tanan or Yitar Tanan. So basically, Rabbi Eliezer holds that if there's another nega, Rabbi Eliezer holds right, if you cut off taras, you're tamei. But if another nega comes, so then he's tahor. So it asks Rav Papa, Yitar Tanan or Yitar Tanan. It doesn't mean that right away when the second nega comes, he's tahor from the original one, or Yitar means he should go through the process of becoming Torah with the second nega.
That's how we learned it. That's
the Pasha Pshat. The Pshat is once you heal from the second one, we assume you would have healed from the first one too. So really, Rav Papa's question is really tough to understand. Why would you think that the second and first?
Getting it is enough.
Right. So I was not sure what's Pshat. I looked in the article footnotes and they brought down some Minchas Avram. I don't know who they brought who said that Rav Papa understands that it's not like that. It's not that because the second one is tar, therefore we assume the first one would have been tar, but it's more like a simon min hashamayim that he's already punished. It's like already a punishment. If he gets a second taras, it's a punishment for his first avera of cutting off the taras, and therefore we assume it's fine, right? But either way, the Gemara asks, "My nafkamina," right? L'may nafkamina. The question is, what does it make a difference? L'maysa, he has taras now. L'maysa, in order for him to become tar, he has to wait. He has to do the whole process. So who cares if he's right now tummy from the first one, or after he's tummy from the second one? Then he'll be also tummy from the first one. Either way, he's tummy from the second one, right? So what does it make a difference? Says the Gemara, no. Nafkamina is l'chasen shenira by nega. If a chassan, who's waiting to go into the chuppah, if he all of a sudden sees tzaras, so we tell him he could wait. The kohen pushes off the declaration of tumah. The tanan chassan shenir by nega noiten zayin yom. We give him 7 days. Loy ulistalisay ulksusay him into his garments. So it's talisay is a type of talis, ksusay is his clothing, right? So. Or we there are certain times where we push it off. V'chein beregel noiten loy kol yimei regel. So too. On Yom Tov, we wait the whole Yom Tov, and then only after that, the kohen declares the Mitzayra as Tameh, right? So too over here, if he becomes Torah right away, right? So we say, Seder, so now let's wait. We see the second Tzaras. We say, right away you're Torah from the first one, and now since you're Tahar and you're a Chassan or it's Yom Tov for the second Tzaras, we'll wait, right? But if you're not Torah from the first one, so there's no point to wait. You're already Tameh, right? So therefore, even if he's a chassan, we're going to say you're tummy right now. There's nothing to push off because you're still tummy from the first one. Okay, so the Gemara says either way, take who. So I read. Says the Gemara, if it's yitar right away, so become for the first one he becomes tar right away. And then for the second taras, not to lezani memishta, you wait for 7 days. For the Shabbat brachas. If it means and let him become Torah with the second one, so even though he's not yet tummy for the second tzaras, and you want to push off the second tzaras because of the chasana, but he's tummy from the first one, so it's not going to help. Mais is the Gemara take. Okay, we don't know. If someone makes a mum in the Oizid of the Bechor, our case, but then he dies. So now his son is stuck with his father's. His father did Avera. His father made the mum, right? So now, are you going to knas the kid also? The kid didn't do anything, right? If you want to say that in the case where someone sells his slave to a guy, you're not allowed to sell your slave to a guy. If you sell your slave to a guy, you have to go be paid the slave. Even though 10 times his amount. Let's say the guy refuses to sell it back to you up to 10 times. You have to pay back up to 10 times of the original value of the slave. So if you want to say right, the same thing, the same shaila would be there. You sell your evet to Chavim, and then the guy dies, right? Now his son, does his son have to go be paid or not? So even Tim Tzaloimar Moicher Avdel Umeis, and then he dies. Kansub Noyachar, if we do knas his kid after him, that he has to go and redeem it even up to 10 times its value. Maybe that's only over there. The Kol Yomi V'Yoma Mafkalei Mitzvahs, right? It's only over there because the evet is chayv the mitzvahs like an isha, and now you sold him to a guy. Every single day he's being over averos, right? Because he's living by a guy. So maybe that's only over there we knas the son. So over here maybe not. If someone is mechaven melachta, basically you're not allowed to do melacha on cholamayit unless it's davar aved, unless it's a great loss. Some people they used to set up their business that punkt in cholamayit something would happen, right? Instead of not being able to work in cholamayit, he wants to make money in cholamayit, right? And what does he do? He makes these schedules it to happen, wink wink, that it happens in cholamayit. Then he goes to the Rav and says, it's davar aved, right? So the Rav is matter to him, right? But let's say we chap onto him and we realize that he's being mechaven melachta b'mayit. He's trying to schedule bedafka that it falls, this davar of it falls up in mayid. So then we can ask him. We say, no, you can't do malach on cholamayid. But let's say a guy's kivin malach in mayid. He's trying to trick everybody. He's trying to trick the chachamim to be matter to work. And then what happens? He dies. Mace, right? So do we knas his kid also? His kid didn't do anything wrong. It was the father's kinunya, right? So even if you want to say over there, we don't knas his son afterwards. That's mishum delay avdali surah, because even the father didn't do any isser yet.
Just set it up.
Right? No isser was done yet. He didn't work on cholamayit. No isser was done yet. So therefore, maybe we're not going to knas his son. But hacha, over here by Bechor, there was an isser done, right? Because the father actually made a mum of the Bechor. That was an Issa, right? But still the question is Lididei Kantz Rabbanon, did the Chacham only knas him, V'hal Leisei, and he's not here. Maybe the knas is chal on the Bechor itself, not just on the father. But maybe we should knas the mum, right? So that maybe the knas was on the Bechor itself, that no one should ever use this forever, because an Avera was done to it. And that animal is still here, and therefore the son also has to do it. If someone took out the thorns of a sad and shviz, so you're not allowed to work a sad and shviz, right? So if someone took out the thorns, so tizar l'moitzi shviz, then you are allowed to plant it on matzah shviz right away, even though you're benefiting from the avodah and shviz, because taking out thorns is not really working the field. So therefore it's not called working on shviz. We're not going to knas you that you can't benefit from that after shviz. But nitaiva, if he fertilized in different ways, nitaiva means he stamped out fertilized. Nidaira means he put a corral of animals there so that they'll do their thing, and then it'll be fertilized. So then that is considered a malacha chashuva. You're not allowed to be zera matzah shviz because you're benefiting from the fertilization that you did during shviz. Let's say he was meitiv it on shviz and then he died. His son is allowed. You see that we only knas him, not his son. So it's over here. We only knas him, not the son. We're not gozer on the mum. We're not gozer on the sada. We're gozer on the person, and that person's not here anymore. Okay.